I always tell everybody, I don't go in there looking for the knockout. I go looking for the win. But if he get out of line, he's gonna be the next one down.
For Terence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 4-weight world champion, 41-0, 31 knockouts. A southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup.
It's going to be a great fight. The reason I have so much confidence is because I really believe that Bud Crawford doesn't fear Canelo Alvarez. A lot of his opponents.
At the press event, Terence Crawford clashed with Canelo in a tense moment. Crawford emphasized that his focus is always on proving himself inside the ring, but he also warned that any sign of disrespect from Canelo could make things personal. His strong remarks highlighted both his mental sharpness and physical readiness, leaving no question about the confidence he's bringing into the fight.
You a there is stuff. You a see you a hold on. Talking to let Aaron. You a because you keep talking like a. You doing all that talking. That's how you doing all that talking. You can't be gotta come back. Come back. He don't talk, and you talking too much. This you want some attention? Right here. This is gonna be legendary. Right here. Female ass. So y'all tuning in. This is a legendary old school fight. Get out. Some attention. Put the camera on him, because that's what he's doing. Showing out like a female. Let him finish, bud. Go ahead, EJ. Yeah, all right.
Greg Hackett has openly backed Terence Crawford to handle Canelo Alvarez, pointing to Crawford's fearless mindset both inside and outside the ring. Hackett explained that unlike many fighters who freeze up when facing a powerhouse like Canelo, Crawford enters every bout with no hesitation and no fear. He believes Crawford's confidence isn't arrogance. It's built on years of discipline, consistent victories, and the ability to adapt in any situation. For Hackett, confidence is the ultimate weapon, and Crawford never steps into the ring without it. Going up against Canelo, widely regarded as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, will demand mental toughness. Still, Hackett is certain that Crawford has more than enough resilience to meet the challenge, framing this fight not as a struggle but as another chance for Crawford to prove he performs best under pressure.
Canelo, yeah, they taking Crawford. You got people that was taking Crawford, they taking Canelo.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
It should be that way because we talking about a great fight here. We talking about two great athletes. So when it's like this, it's better for the betting. You know what I mean? All the people that like to bet, it's better for them. You know what I mean? Because nobody knows where the money gonna land. The reason I have so much confidence in this fight, you know, thinking that it's going to be a great fight. The reason I have so much confidence is because I really believe that Bud Crawford doesn't fear Canelo Alvarez. A lot of his opponents in the past were nervous, scared from the beginning. I don't think Bud feel that way at all. I think we're going to get a good rumble on our hands. You know what I mean? It's just going to come down to the big question for Bud is, can he take the shot? You know what I'm saying? The question, I think, for Canelo is, does he get old? I say that for a reason because he got a lot of fights, bro. He got, I think he going on almost 70 fights. You know what I'm saying? Or he a little bit under 70. That's a lot of fights for current time. You know what I'm saying? And Bud got a lot of gas still left, but he's older as well. You know what I mean? A lot of people would like to give him shit for not being able to take a shot, or not that he didn't take the shot, but getting buzzed with some shots at lower weight classes. So it's like, how can he handle himself at 168 pounds? But you have to understand the physical to understand how. You know what I mean? I'm not about to get into all of that, but you know what I mean? I do understand he will be a lot more sturdy at 68. I mean, if you smart, you've seen it at 47 versus Earl Spence.
Adam Smith, one of boxing's most respected commentators, views a clash between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez as a massive leap for Crawford, but one that he believes is within reach. According to Smith, Crawford's greatest weapon is his exceptional ring IQ, allowing him to read opponents, adjust on the fly, and take advantage of even the smallest mistakes. His speed, Smith adds, could also play a key role since Canelo's defensive approach can sometimes leave gaps that a sharp and fast fighter like Crawford might exploit. Smith predicts that if Crawford is to win, it would most likely come through a tactical points victory, using his intelligence and movement to edge Canelo over 12 rounds. He praises the potential fight as a showdown that could deliver incredible excitement, with both men tested to their absolute limits. For Smith, the idea of Crawford winning on points isn't unrealistic. It reflects how much boxing values skill, strategy, and high-level thinking.
September the 13th, it's billed as fight of the century. I do feel as though this one, for such an unbelievably good fight, the prospect of, it has gone under the radar a bit. We've spoken more about fights that are not even...
Remember Eubank Ben? How much you spoke about?
Oh, I love that fight.
Yeah, but compared to these two guys...
Yeah, that's because we had it.
But that's in Britain, that's prime time here, it's the football casuals. I think the problem with this fight is it is just a fabulous boxing matchup, and one with all sorts of curiosity between two superstars. The Ring magazine's dedicated the entire magazine, but this is boxing, it's hardcore boxing. I think Canelo is known. I think Canelo, obviously the Mexican machismo that holds all the super middleweight titles, nearly 70-odd fights. He's been phenomenal. I think he's 35 now. But for Terence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 4-weight world champion, 41-0, 31 knockouts. A southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup, the two of them, because you've got the big guy, the strong, super middleweight, really, really cultured, wonderful fighter in Canelo. But is he just slightly, ever so slightly, fine margins past his peak? And you've got Crawford, who needs this fight as his coming out party. The big news, it's on Netflix, so he'll get the attention. Can Crawford do it? It's a huge step again in weights, but I think he's got the speed, and I think he's got the know-how, I'm sure we'll talk about it more next week, to cause problems for Canelo, and I think that he could win it on points.
Ade Oladipo takes a more skeptical view of the potential showdown, suggesting that although the fight has generated huge buzz, it doesn't quite carry the same intrigue as recent headline bouts like Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois. In his opinion, the matchup between Crawford and Canelo lacks true balance, largely due to the natural weight gap and the widespread expectation that favors Canelo. Whereas Usyk-Dubois delivered contrasting styles and a sense of real unpredictability, Oladipo believes Crawford-Canelo feels less even. To him, much of the excitement surrounding the fight seems driven more by promotional hype than by the actual competitiveness of the contest.
Like, it's been billed as the biggest fight of the century. Some are saying the biggest fight of all time. Let's calm down, people. Let's breathe a little bit. It's a big fight. But it doesn't quite feel like those things. It doesn't feel like the biggest fight of the century. Like, this doesn't feel like, and maybe because I work these events, so it's slightly different, but this doesn't feel like Usyk Fury, for example. It doesn't feel like that at all. That felt like, oh my God, this is going to happen. Undisputed heavyweight title fight. Remember, this is an undisputed super middleweight title fight. It just feels a bit lacking of something. I can't believe that Max Kellerman is now part of this. And again, for nostalgia, we haven't got a Max Kellerman face-off. How Canelo speaks great English now. How we haven't got that? Just to kind of give it a bit of spice, because Canelo, with his English, it's like he's only learnt the bad words. He does chat a lot of shit. So I almost feel like we should have done that. Maybe because it's on Netflix, it hasn't got a bit of a push from ESPN. Obviously, there's no DAZN stuff, obviously, because DAZN are not covering it. I feel like it's lacking something. And maybe because both of them don't trash talk either. Because when I think of the biggest fights of the last sort of 15, 20 years, you've always had one side of the fight, or one side who's a big trash talker. In some instances, two. The biggest fights, again, Usyk Fury. Fury was happy to do all the trash talking. Sold it. Event went massive. Mayweather, Pacquiao. Mayweather is happy to do all that, right? Mayweather, McGregor. Hence why that went just colossal, because you got two of the biggest trash talkers ever doing it. This time, Canelo ain't saying anything. Crawford ain't saying anything. Feels a bit flat. Feels a little bit flat.
Promoters have gone all out to transform Crawford versus Canelo into more than just a boxing match, branding it as the fight of the century. They've managed to capture attention from a global audience, extending the hype well beyond the sport's usual fan base. With Netflix stepping in, the build-up has reached another level, offering behind-the-scenes access, exclusive coverage, and storytelling that makes the event feel monumental. Through carefully timed documentaries, interviews, and press events, the promotion has drawn in households that don't normally follow boxing. The strategy blurs the line between pure sport and mainstream entertainment, building anticipation on a scale comparable to some of the biggest crossover spectacles in history.
I'm holding you to the standard you said. They're tagging this the fight of the century, colossal, super fight, Netflix, Dana White, right? So now we got to look at it. You can't tell me something. See, I'm not the type of person where you can pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. If that's you and you're going to let somebody urinate on your leg and tell you it's raining, that's on you. But I don't do that. I'm a critical thinker, and I'm not just going to listen to what you tell me and see if the facts don't support that, right? So if this is the fight of the century, let's look at it. Boxing tickets, Canelo versus Crawford, right? Since August 29th, tickets listed, $2,566 value, $7 million plus worth of tickets. Hey, bro, $7 million worth of tickets.
Veteran commentator Al Bernstein shares a frank perspective, suggesting that despite the massive promotional effort, this isn't the matchup boxing fans had been truly hoping for. In his view, the buzz around Crawford versus Canelo didn't build naturally. Supporters were more eager to see Crawford face opponents in his own division or Canelo square off against rivals closer to his weight. Bernstein admits the fight carries appeal on paper, but says it lacks the organic rivalry or compelling storyline that usually turns a bout into a must-see event. While the marketing has been effective in creating attention, he argues that the genuine interest among hardcore boxing fans is far more muted compared to other recent mega fights. To Bernstein, this showdown feels more like a product of smart promotion than the result of real fan demand.
To have these two level of fighters meet, where does this rank at?
I think it's one of those fights that, the interesting thing is, it wasn't as if every boxing fan said, boy, I can't wait to see Canelo fight Terence Crawford. In other words, it wasn't one of those fights, like there are more boxing fans that said, gee, I'd like to see Canelo fight David Benavidez. But having said that, I mean, among the hardcore boxing fans.
For sure.
Having said that, what they did, and this happens sometimes in boxing, they come up with a matchup that wasn't on everybody's mind, but kind of makes sense. And the proof is in the pudding. If you do one of those kind of matches and the interest is not there, you're going to find that out.
For sure.
In this case, obviously the interest was there because they've sold. I mean, I went online and looked at the ticket sales and everything. And they've sold, looks like they've already sold 30,000, 40,000 seats.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I believe they'll sell it out.
Left, in Allegiant Stadium. So that alone is an indicator. The amount of attention and coverage the fight has gotten, and this is one of those fights that will also have a good barometer as we get closer to the fight. How much is the mainstream sports media covering the fight?
Yeah.
You know, it used to be in the old days, big fights were covered all the time by the mainstream sports media, not so much in recent years. And so that's always a barometer of whether it, really is as big as we think. As far as the actual matchup is concerned, when it was originally announced, I thought they were going to have a hard sell in convincing people that Crawford could come up 2 weight classes and take on a 168-pounder because he already moved up.
A common sentiment around this fight is that although it will draw massive attention, it isn't a matchup fans were actively calling for. Many believe the natural size and weight advantage leans heavily in Canelo's favor, which could make the outcome feel predictable. The real intrigue then rests on whether Crawford can rise above those physical disadvantages and deliver a historic upset. Should Crawford pull it off, the event would go down as one of boxing's most surprising and dramatic moments, redefining the underdog story. On the other hand, if Canelo wins as most expect, the fight risks being labeled as routine or inevitable. This perspective captures the balance between hope and doubt. Fans long for the thrill of an upset, yet remain cautious about the possibility of a one-sided result. Ultimately, the question is whether Crawford's skill set can outweigh Canelo's size.
So many tickets available for this fight because of that undercard. This promotion has been just It's very interesting, man. Number one, there's no real reason for this fight to take place. Terence Crawford and Canelo. Nobody was asking for the fight. There's no natural connection between the two fighters. There's just two names that people think are on the top of a hypothetical list called the pound for pound list that many people act as if it's real. So they're two top pound for pound people, and they put them together and think this makes some big magic match. It may be a magic match once they get in the ring if Terence Crawford can overcome Canelo Alvarez. It's got a real potential for that. But what happens if the fight winds up just being what more than likely it'll be, which is Terence Crawford trying to get away from the bigger, stronger Canelo Alvarez? Because again, he's jumping so many weight classes. That's the gimmick. That jumping the weight class is the gimmick that is supposed to be attracting people to this fight. Gimmicks are not gonna pull it. And you can't tell me of the people. Now, there's gonna be many people in the stadium. People go to the fight for sure. There are gonna be people out there for that event. But you can't tell me that particular event with the fights that they have on that card is gonna be some memorable night of boxing, other than maybe it taking place in the main event. You have people, many of these fighters are not from the United States. As I look from them, I would have to go out and see in the United States, how many fighters from the United States do they actually have, right?
Fans and analysts alike have been impressed by Terence Crawford's transformation at 175 pounds, well above his usual weight class. Images and reports show him looking shredded with broader shoulders, a thicker neck, and well-defined muscles, signs of a fighter ready to take on a physically formidable opponent like Canelo. This change has reassured many that Crawford isn't stepping into the ring undersized. Instead, he has adapted his body to handle the challenges of a higher weight class. His conditioning highlights the effort he's put into strength and agility training, ensuring power without sacrificing speed. For supporters, seeing Crawford bulked up yet still sharp gives hope that he can counter Canelo's physical edge while maintaining the technical skill that has defined his career. His new, imposing physique has sparked fresh debate over whether size will truly determine the outcome.
Terence Bud Crawford is absolutely ripped, absolutely shredded, what looks to be about 175. Now he fights next Saturday, a week out from the fight. It's a week out from the weigh-in, so I'm sure that you look at Terence Bud Crawford right there, and you see he is absolutely shredded right there. And this is a week before the weigh-in, right? So I'm pretty sure he's probably weighing about 174, something of that magnitude, maybe about 173. 175 is probably the max he is at one right now, because obviously the weight is at 168. And he's a week out. So he might be around 173, dropped 5 pounds next Friday for the weigh-in, right? So Terence Crawford, as I showed you guys, is training and putting a mass in his shoulders and in his legs. As you can see here, once again, right? He hasn't gained a lot of muscle mass except in his shoulders. Okay, when you look at Terence Crawford in previous fights, previous weigh-ins, his arms look pretty much the same. His neck and his shoulders is where you can see a clear difference from fights in the past, right? When you look at his midsection, his core, right, you can see the water weight, right? So right now, it's going to look like his midsection, his core is going to look bigger than what it actually is.
Canelo Alvarez's credentials speak for themselves. Turning pro at just 15, he has amassed decades of experience facing some of boxing's top competitors. Unlike fighters who may lack solid fundamentals, Canelo combines one of the sharpest jabs in the sport with a rock-solid chin and the ability to adjust his strategy on the fly. His elite status comes from victories across multiple weight classes and consistently performing under intense pressure. For Crawford, going up against a fighter with such an extensive resume is the ultimate challenge. Canelo's mix of skill, toughness, and ring intelligence makes him a formidable opponent for anyone, regardless of style.
Terence Crawford a guru in the ring? Absolutely. He is one of the best fighters ever created in humanity. But you cannot say that I'm gonna come in with 5 pounds taped across my arms and legs and then go against Canelo Alvarez. He's not going against some dude who doesn't have counter punches, who doesn't have a ring IQ. Canelo's been fighting since 15 and is one of the few fighters who has taken literally less punishment than, say, Caleb Plant, who has like 25 fights. If you look at the amount of punishment that Caleb Plant has taken in his fights, Canelo has probably taken less punishment than that. And he's coming in hungry. And he's going to come in with 87 billion Mexicans in the ring walk, everybody flying flags. You don't know what Crawford's stage fight is going to be, coming in front of 70,000 people. Canelo's been there. He's going to put the shoes to Crawford.
That wraps up today's video. Thanks for watching, and make sure to stay tuned for more updates in our next upload.